It is arguably the most difficult weapon to start with.
It is.
Speaking of starting.
Yes, good call.
Welcome, Stoops Longseed house.
Oh, well, we're going to find out really quick. And with the first chest, we have the mirror.
Oh, that's really,
well,
really interesting, actually.
Yeah,
because it does open up a little quick routing.
It does add a little bit of a plot twist, because what else are we going to see that brings that mirror into play? Or is that going to be the red herring that we're not going to see for, say, 45 minutes? Either way, it does mean... Well, it does mean Link's going to see a good reflection.
There we go!
Yes!
Oh no, I feel so bad
let's
now.
go! No, perfect. Commentator's curse. Good morning / good also morning, no matter where you are.
Good sword!
In a
Never mind
sword.
that game.
Oh.
Oh my god.
It was a ruse all along.
Boo.
Oh, no. You know, honestly, that was... Both of that 1-2 hit was absolutely perfect for the start of this race.
Oh yeah, nothing could compare to that, honestly. Oh my.
Something awaited, something debated, whatever that meme on Twitch is.
Memes.
They're a thing. They are. Speaking of everywhere, have you noticed that a majority of the people have actually been using custom sprites, which is actually a fantastic thing to see. Shoutouts to everyone that's been making sprites for the Link to the Past randomizer.
Yeah, we have. I believe it's like definitely more than 50, almost like 100, I would say.
Yeah, it's got to be reaching close to that by now.
It's you have a wide selection, not only from the Zelda universe, but as we can see, Mega Man X.
Absolutely.
On the left here, and the one
another fantastic game to have randomized.
I'm not good at Mega Man, so.
Same. That's why I deal with Zelda.
Oh.
I have to admit, but by the way, we did miss a big 20. Yes, very exciting. I know. We all acknowledge it's quite exciting.
Yeah, one of like what 32.
Yep. And good morning. Hope you're not hungry. There goes the map. It looks like a burrito.
Tasty. I mean, the real question is what's on it.
That's true. We can at least suggest it's knowledge, because knowledge is delicious.
Yeah, literacy.
It's satisfying, at least.
Very much so. Both are runners coming up on the ball and chain guard.
Ah, very nice. We're seeing the classic sword strat on one side, and then Hayabusa is actually deciding he's going to use the pots. Not a bad plan. As we can see, both strategies paid off around the same amount of time.
Both runners thankfully remembering that mirror that they got.
Oh, the mirror. The mirror in Escape is so convenient.
Yeah, it feels like that would be one of the biggest time saves in the game.
Easily.
Getting the mirror early. But with that, we are going to head into the sewer section. Now, thankfully, we do have a light cone, despite not having the lamp, which is a feature only present during the escape sequence. As you are rescuing Zelda, you get a free light cone only in this area, so for the rest of the game, we are going to have to find the lamp for to see in the dark.
That's true, and if you decide, or you decide you don't want it, or you just can't find it, well, usually at this part of the tournament, we can normally suggest, oh, hold on, we have Quake. Hello, Quake Medallion.
Oh, that might be important.
But as I was suggesting, at this point in the tournament, many of the runners that are left are usually very comfortable with Dark Room strats.
Yeah, and speaking of comfortable, both are runners getting at least one bomb.
Yeah,
so they are
absolutely.
going to be full clearing the escape sequence. As there are 3 chests locked behind a bombable wall. That's our that is going to come up right now.
Indeed, you are correct. There's nothing more satisfying than knowing you don't have to backtrack to this specific section later on.
Yeah, I mean, we're all about going fast.
Oh, Master Sword.
Another sword!
We got the Master Sword, the red boomerang, and a jar of red Kool-Aid. We can now pretty much full clear Kakariko.
That is true. You do need 4 bombs in order to get every single item.
Yep. And of course, there is the exception of the blacksmith area, but nonetheless, everything that doesn't require a hammer and or the magic powder.
Wow, both runners in sync, a 5-minute escape. That's really solid for
5:21. That's fantastic.
Shovel. That's also fantastic, finding a shovel.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Chell will be excited.
Oh, you know it. Who doesn't love a fetch quest when they're not playing it? But 5:21, that is fantastic, considering that literally a year ago, I remember people were talking about 6:30, even on the standard route, being a good time. Seeing it go down by a minute within a year is phenomenal.
Yeah, this game has aged very well with the randomizer. A lot of new strats have actually been found due to the randomizer. Moon Pearl.
Oh, Moon Pearl.
Oh my! That is part 1 to the Dark World puzzle.
That is very foreboding. They have a Master Sword. They have Moon Pearl. They have the mirror. That does suggest you might as well just run on up to the tower, but you know, that's also kind of shooting the gun a little too early.
Yeah, our runners are going to be looking at the quote-unquote meta route of the Kakariko loop into the South Shore loop, and then just see where the items take you. But getting that Master Sword early is always a bit of foreshadowing.
Absolutely. And again, considering how much stuff is still available for free in the light world, you can't really be sure.
Yeah, in Kakariko alone, 25 unique item locations to stock up on the Canis Samaria.
Nice.
Wow.
We are already getting
front loaded.
It's like all the memes are showing up now instead of later, which is actually rather okay. Getting them out of our system now is a lot better. Oh, that 5 rupee chest, how fascinating for nobody.
With a room full of 5s as well.
Yep. Just something. It's a little excessive.
Oh, actually, the accessible part of Blind Sides is all reds, and the back part is all blues.
Yep. Oh, I just realized that.
Funny how this game. Wow, another heart. We got. I believe 2 heart containers.
Yeah, this is a safe start.
And hey, more red rupees. That's exciting.
Oh yeah. Getting all those what we called at one point GamerCal chests. Also, shoutouts to GamerCal.
Also, shoutouts to everyone in the randomizer community.
Oh, very true. And not a whole lot from the bottle vendor.
No, that did not look like it was worth the 100 rupees.
Certainly not.
But sadly, no refunds.
Oof.
But
yet again, another big 20.
Yeah, there's money everywhere in Hyrule.
Oh, I know. It's the most common chest item in the game, no doubt. But it's always one of those things where it always stings to know you just picked up another red 20.
No, I'll change the pace. Getting a free arrow upgrade. Not
Ooh,
going to help our runners.
Plus not going to the sick kid. Despite having a bottle.
Very interesting. Now, we did get that during the escape sequence, so that might have slipped his mind, but let's hope that he'll come back for that if it actually turns out to be something important. Oh, we're about to find out, actually. As Hayabusa is going straight for the maze game.
Oh, lucky for Hayabusa, there is no worry on going to the sick kid. But we are just seeing him just dash over to see what's in the race game. And survey says, oof.
Don't want that. Oh, it does remember that he has a shovel though. So we are going to immediately see that.
Certainly not a bad call. Especially since you're right there, and even then you can afterwards save and quit so you don't have to spend more time doing a little bit of backtracking. And confirmed all crystals in the light world. All 3 pendants are in the dark world, as well as the 2 red pendants that we would need to unlock the Pyramid Fairy.
I believe the 5 crystal was desert.
Wait, seriously? Did I just catch that a couple of moments where it wasn't red? Damn it.
Colorblind, I suppose. Speaking of colorblind, if you look on the Falcon side of the screen, he has green hearts instead of the standard red hearts.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So with the latest version of the randomizer, the developers put in some heart color customization, mainly to accommodate for color blindness and to add a bit of flair and spice to your game.
That is rather fantastic. And now we're going to be seeing what's inside of the dam. And so far, 300 rupees, thanks to being able to use the mirror to glitch out the block, which is available in the Japanese 1.0 version. Yep, 1.Z version. And let's see what is going to be under the water. Oh, it's the boomerang to go with your red one.
Oh, that's the best boomerang. Come on, Hayabusa. You know better. Oh, speaking of knowing, we have Falcon setting up for the Chris Houlihan wrong warp by displacing the camera by a couple of pixels. Therefore, the game does not know where to send you. And because the developers didn't want the game to crash, they made a very generous crash handling room with 255 rupees in total.
Oh, looks like we have we have a blue tunic and the gloves.
Oh, other than that, not much of anything.
True, but that is 2 parts of the puzzle we would need to avoid having to go through Ganon's tower.
Well, eventually we are going to go there.
Oh, sorry, Aghanim Tower. Me and words.
It's
Hi,
late
everyone.
for you.
Sure
It's
is
fine.
4 a.m. for me.
Oh my, what a ride. But yeah, that does leave us with only the 2nd glove upgrade or the hammer in order to completely forgo Aga. Meanwhile,
Now we're going to be seeing the Ice Rod Cave. And,
Falcon
both
also choosing to skip.
disrespecting the boomerang.
I mean, I guess you already have the Randomizer, but it lags, so... Oh, we got an ice potion.
What a appropriately color-themed potion.
So many color themes going on right now. I mean, Master Sword and Blue Mail, Blindside being red and blue, Ice Cave holding some blue.
The first 2 items you get are blue. We got the mirror, which is blue on the rim and the handle, and then the Cane of Burna itself is blue.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And now we're seeing the fake flipper attempt.
No, a little bit finicky to set up. You do need to be 1 pixel away from the screen transition.
And it's a lot easier to do when you set yourself up with the spin slash being charged, or at least holding the sword out for the spin slash. But it seems Hayabusa is trying a different method for reasons unbeknownst to me. Ah, there we go.
Does get it in the end though. Very nicely done. The game does give you 1 pixel for 1 frame where you can move in the water before it checks for you having the flippers. And you know, since you transitioned in the water, the game just assumes that you can swim because you would not have otherwise been able to make it.
Yep, and it's doing that with just the Moon Pearl because apparently something in there registers the same as, hey, do you have a check for the flippers? Or registers a check for if you have the flippers or not. Meanwhile, big 20 from the troll under the bridge. And as we saw on the Lake Hylia Island, there was only 50 rupees.
Yeah, so far a lot of rupees. Both runners do have more than 500 rupees to get the Zora item.
It's rather interesting to see both runners using the same tactic. Using bombs instead of the sword slash, and there may be a totally logical reason for that. Maybe setting something up for something later for all I would know, but that's rather interesting. Meanwhile, Hayabusa going up and going to check the waterfall, going to see what the two items are in there, hoping to find something of worth.
Yeah, now with the fake flippers glitch and the moon pearl, the game will simply check for the bow.
The bow, that is huge.
Oh my, that's definitely required. I mean, the game won't check for a bow,
but as we know, there's many things that are required to send Ganon's tower using the bow. And the fire rod?
We are going to need the flippers first before we can get that item, as there is, as of yet, no minor glitches way to get that. But for all we know, we can buy the flippers.
This does mean, thanks to the sequence break, logically you're supposed to find the flippers before getting the bow and the fire rod. So we can already assume that you wouldn't be going into the end of Eastern Palace, into Ice Palace at all, or fighting Mothula before acquiring both items, for whatever that may be worth.
Oh, Hayabusa did get lucky there. He did jump off the ledge, which could have shocklocked him, but due to the fact that he picked up an item that kind of reset his state, so he did respawn back on safe land. But speaking of Eastern Palace, it does look like that is going to be Hayabusa's next stop, going to visit Sahasrara, which holds some information in terms of the green pennant location, as well as 3 more items.
That is true, and as we know, having that knowledge might lead to either a couple of good guesses or just being able to relax knowing that, okay, we don't have to worry about XYZ. If he checks it at all. We'll find out. And we got Fisher Price, my first shield, a big 20, and a heart container. Not bad. And we're seeing the Zora check. Oof. That's a marketing scheme if I've ever seen one. Good job, Zora.
I mean, both of them, both the bottle vendor and the Zora, they're both into the same practices.
Oh yeah, good point.
Connection? I think so.
So I must have caught it on the number instead of seeing the crystal and Desert Palace being red. Yep.
Yeah, Falcon does give us confirmation. So we do see Hayabusa going into the Eastern Palace. Does have the ability to, albeit through sequence break, to finish the dungeon due to technically not. He's technically not. The game does not think that he has to bow yet, due to the fact that he still needs the flippers for those, as well as missing the lamp for the back part.
Yep. In all technicality, it is quite the sequence break for as far as we know, but nonetheless, having an early crystal lead is certainly nothing to sneeze at, even if that is by a matter of a minute or two.
Yeah, they are the goal at the end of the day. Oh, nice. 8 bombed up there.
And coming up on the second chest, we have the big key, so that means we have a... Wow, train of thought just totally went by, but nonetheless, that does mean we have 2 dungeon items remaining.
Yeah, and with 3 item locations remaining, if there is something in the big chest, Hayabusa can opt to just completely skip the vanilla big key chest, as that does take a considerable amount of time, as he unfortunately misses the Stalfos despawn.
Oh, and he gets all 4. Unfortunate.
Yeah, although not a huge time loss, definitely one of the Well, that's
Right,
one of the dungeon items.
It is a significantly small time loss. That is true. But nonetheless, everything does still add up. It seemed like he actually went a little too far up. And a gold glove already. Oof.
That...
Well,
wow.
the moment he gets flippers is the moment he can actually go and take care of Mafia.
Yeah, we don't know whether or not much that is required this seed. As,
That is a good point.
As neither of our players have been to the Dark World. But with that, we do circumvent the necessity for Aghanim, so both runners will definitely be very happy to get those set of items.
Absolutely.
Although it is still possible that Aghanim is required if the hammer is locked in Paths of Darkness or Catch.
Ooh, that's not a bad point. And
Yeah,
Falcon
hammer...
getting that skip. Or sorry, Falcon getting that RNG manipulation.
Yeah, very
and
nicely
an arrow
done
upgrade.
indeed. It's not really worth it, to be honest. Which does mean that the compass is going to be on the Armor's Knights.
Yep. Which, I mean, it does save you the satisfaction of knowing you don't have to check back for another item later on. But that's pretty much it.
And as Chet does kindly point out, if they do find flippers, then yes, they can actually skip Aghanim. I always forget about that little like flipper trick, because it's just so rare to actually... Oh my god, Hayabusa unloading into the Igor.
That is some serious Igor hatred, which I can definitely empathize, but whew, it's a lot of arrows.
Oh wait, there is still another item in Eastern.
Wait.
It's way too early for me.
Unless I'm horribly mistaken, the compass was the first chest that we had found, and that was the dungeon item. So that does mean we haven't seen the map, have we? We can't have, because we got two items. No. We also got the big key. So this would have to be another dungeon item, which would be the map.
Wait, we did...
I'm pretty sure... Unless I'm horribly mistaken, I've always counted 3 items, not 4.
Yeah, that would be... Wait. Oh my god.
Well, we're finding out now. Oh my god, we are confirmed. Yeah, I nailed it. I called it right there.
I mean, you always said it was an item, right? I mean, I don't know what
right, exactly.
Chat, yeah. Stop throwing us for a loop. This is not fun.
Yeah, exactly what he said. I had it right the whole time.
Yeah, we can count.
Yeah, I'm totally not bad.
Yeah, I mean, which is why we're commentating and not playing. Oh my.
Well, good morning. Gracious. No matter which coast you're on, good morning.
Yeah, through that. Good morning, everybody. The sun's starting to break through, although the land of Hyrule is always bright and cheery, as Hayabusa is going to take a dip into the Dark World. Very exciting.
It seems like Kless is actually heading back to double check Sick Kid. At this point, the only real route you can take would either to be sequence break even further and go up Death Mountain, or to see what's in Desert, because we still have yet to see Agana's cave. Oh no, of course there is the Dark World. We did get the Titan's Mitts, so we do have access. Yeah,
we have a lot of options at the moment. Although not having the hammer does limit us, as the hammer does have most dependencies. We're going to map check Special Crystal in the same location, Maya, with Thief's Stone being our green pendant. And interestingly enough, Palace of Darkness and Turtle Rock for pendants.
That does spell a lot of interesting potential trolls.
Yeah, although that does cut down on the amount of items that could possibly be on the pedestal.
That is also very true. Come to think of it, this also means we're going to be getting a very, very quick second crystal. We have people hypothesizing that Green Pendant on Thieves Town could suggest that Sahasrara has a progression item. That is still entirely possible, albeit less likely than we would all hope. Let's be real.
Yeah, Thieves Town does have very little dependencies in terms of what you actually need to complete it.
That is also
true. Definitely a lot of item possibilities, but it's going to be required. We'll just have to. That just has to be seen.
It would be interesting to see Sahasrara have a progression item, and that would actually be the hammer. So you'd have to double dip into Thieves Town for the last item that is actually in the big chest, which would also be another progression item.
That is true.
Sounds like a good plan to win the waiting.
Oh my god. I mean, it's always better when an actual randomized seed does it, because you don't expect it. Whenever I'm playing a randomizer, I'm always like, what would be the evilest thing that could be done? And that's usually what happens, because people...
ClessHayabusa taking a death warp, I presume, or at least just making sure to get more hearts than running around in Blue Mail, in Skull Woods, and the Dark Forest.
Yeah, I do believe that was a refill of hearts. He did have only, what was it, 1.5 hearts, so...
It was 2.5, that is a good point. Although Hayabusa did end up getting the bomb jump a lot more successfully than Falcon. Falcon just being a little out of the, I think it's a 2 pixel gap without the boots. Because I know with the boots, after you bonk, it's a 6 pixel gap.
Yes, that is correct. Wow, lots of smokies. Completely useless, by the way. You don't need any smokies. Or I should say, from
I think at most you... Yeah, I was going to say from chest locations, indeed.
Yeah, everything in the game has been shuffled with the exception of plot contents and keys from enemies, so those will always be constant. And because of that, you don't always need to find a chested smoky.
And now we're getting a bunk rock, or not bunk rock, excuse me, a bumper cave check.
It is in Northern Hyrule, although we're quite in a parallel world for that.
We are, and I did mention the boots earlier, and that's where my mind went.
Oh yeah, we also don't have the boots. Yeah, I knew that.
I know. In the meantime...
Oh, cutting it a bit close with that master hand. But wow.
You could say that again. And now we're going to be checking the cave behind the grave, seeing if there's anything of value there. While I'm always skeptic, we have seen that hold a crucial item in the past.
Yeah, Grave Ledge does have a high notoriety of containing something important. There it is.
Oh,
another.
Of course, the 20 rupees we needed to beat the game. Thank goodness.
Yeah, we'll just bribe Ganon to just shuffle along.
I mean, doesn't that's not the objective of the game? Bribe Ganon? No.
Isn't that why we can have 9,999 rupees?
I mean, I thought that's why you were supposed to gift him with silvers.
Silverware, let's go.
In the meantime, looks like we're getting a check of the remainder of the Village of Outcasts.
And by extension, possibly a thief stand dip, as both runners do sync up with each other.
Almost literally at the same time. Getting that interdimensional high five. Oh. Looks like we're seeing some separate. Nope, never mind. We're just seeing a slight change in thinking. Falcon going. Oh
Flute.
wow! There's the flute.
An amazing location to find the flute right here in Kakariko.
Absolutely, that gives you plenty of options. You can immediately piece out of here, or you could just, you know, head to Misery Mire. You could head up to the mountain. You can go places you can access by walking.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'll raise for the Swag Duck National Anthem.
Beautiful.
And the duck is unstuck.
Oh my.
Fly on, Swag Duck, fly on. Oh, thank you.
May the winds be forever in your favor. Powder. That's an interesting fast quest.
That is rather interesting.
Already, due to having the mirror.
Oh, and we got a whole lot of nothing from the chest game. Shoutouts to getting almost all of your money back. And Hayabusa showing us basically the same tactic everyone at a convention does by playing the same song over and over on a cheap instrument.
I mean, you did find it in some dusty old brewery, to be fair.
That is fair. That is very fair.
We're both runners in Thieves. Yeah, Thieves Town. I second guessed myself then. We do find the Vicky, thankfully. Falcon decides to leave after getting the Vicky. Probably doesn't want to invest the time into a pendant dungeon just yet.
Just yet, but we are getting round 2 of the Swag Duck National Anthem. This time, silent version. It's the John Cage 433 edition. And this time, the goose is loose.
The pheasant is indeed present.
I like it.
Speaking of which, one was sitting in my garden the other day.
Oh no.
And I was like, interesting. The pheasant is present in real life.
The fowl was indeed on the prowl.
Although I believe that my cat scared it off. Or my bullfrog. I have a bullfrog. Don't.
Oh, nice.
Call it a bullfrog. Although
Is his
Hayabusa
name
does
Jeremiah?
Yes.
Excellent. Then it matches the name of the frog still trapped as Hayabusa and Falcon head over to the digging game.
Both of them. Although, to their credit, you can't actually dig with a frog because it doesn't want to be buried.
Exactly.
I guess. Oh, wow, we're getting a lot of digs.
Oh, yeah, that is a lot of digs. Surprisingly, none of them made into a shape. They are just going the typical route. Oh, for 10 bombs. For 10 bombs, you could have at least drawn a sailboat. Join me, friends, in becoming the Bob Ross of the digging game.
Oh my, happy little accidents. There are
Exactly.
enough, there are enough happy trees around to last forever.
Exactly. And now we're seeing Senior Frog being taken out onto a moonlit stroll. Unfortunately, not a very long one because, you know, it's a bit late. And they don't have the hammer, so that skips the extra dancing.
Oh yeah, that is true. Wow, still no hammer. Interesting. Even before calling it hammer at the blacksmiths, they just like...
Oh my god, the plot twist.
Dun dun dun! I mean, explosives is what I said.
Exactly, nailed it.
We'll get to see if either of the runners opts to cash in that powder. It does look like it. This will result in them losing their portal. So it'd be interesting to see if Falcon is going to opt for the purple chest.
And speaking of things that you can do, oh, looks like we're having a very slight diversions. One is going for the magic bat. No, useless item. And now we're also going to be saying thank you. And now we're going to be seeing what useless item is over in Gary's lunchbox. It's a really huge lunchbox. Gary must work up one heck of an appetite being a lazy slum in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, he doesn't talk much either.
We are seeing Cave 45, the cave under the secret grove, or the forest grove, if you will. And we have the carrot sword. Eat your vegetables, kids.
Carrot sword. Wow. Oh, now little tidbit. That is Falcon's favorite item, the tempered sword. So definitely something that that he wanted to find. And on that note, actually, turns out that Hayabusa's favorite item is the mirror, which is funny.
Oh wow!
I just noticed that. It was so early on, as we did find it in the very first chest of the game.
That was rather fantastic, and they still match. There's still plenty of blue items. We found the flute.
Oh yeah. Although sadly we did leave the boomerang at the dam.
Oh, that's true. Oh, the disrespect. And now I hope you all have your resident sleepers ready, because welcome to Resident Sleeper Cave. Hooray.
That is nice, I suppose.
Hooray.
I mean, that's a bit less nice. I mean, free money. I mean, yeah, no.
If this were real life, I'd take free money.
Oh yeah.
But in a game after you've already thrown down at everything that you could usually throw down money for, with the exception of, you know, potions and a big bomb, that is that Resident Sleeper Cave is a no thanks out of 10. So bad you don't even give it a number.
Yes.
And now we go back in the light world with the arrows. No, the bow. No, the mirror. And we got another useless item. The same useless item as the magic bat.
A connection? I think so.
Illuminati confirmed.
Yes. This game is Illuminati. Speaking of which, not Illuminati. Sorry?
Oh, I was just gonna... Oh yeah, it's quick. I was just gonna go on a play-by-play, but do go ahead.
I completely lost my train of thought.
I apologize. Looks like we're getting another check of... Yeah, it's a vanilla heartbeats.
How boring. Is this even randomized?
You know, good question. Gets all of the items in the beginning of the game.
That's been a very front-loaded seed, but it has come to pretty much a crawl at this point.
As much to be expected when you find so much so early on. And we're going to find out if this is boot locked. Surprise! It is most likely boot locked.
Yeah, well, it is possible to retrieve the small key from the second part, which I believe is still considered a sequence break. But we do find the big keys, so we do have possibility to finish the dungeon.
That is true. We also have the ability to check one chest. And that chest is the big chest. And as we know, there could be something useful, or there could be one of the two remaining dungeon items.
Boots!
Oh, it's the boots!
That's... wow. I mean, does it get any better than that, honestly?
Obligatory, what are those? And wow. Wow, what are the chances of that being the actual item? Wow, already.
Convenient.
Fantastic.
What are the chances that I'm actually going to look that up for the big chest?
And there's another dungeon item. And we're going to be seeing the remaining chest in here. Probably a dungeon item. Yep. And the mirror tactic, my favorite use of the mirror in this game, not having to go through the rest of that dungeon. And now we're going into seeing what's in the Misery Mire shed. Let's see if there's anything of worth. We do know we can access and technically... Oh, wait, no. We don't have a fire source. So we can't actually beat either Misery Mire or
Desert, yeah.
Desert. I mean, technically, we don't know if we need fire for Misery Mire yet, because we don't know if there's anything of importance locked behind the
yeah, that is,
couple of chests. But nonetheless, taking that chance is such a huge time sink in the event that it's wrong.
Yeah, and with the amount of the world that is open to our runners, that does not seem the most optimal play. Of course, anything in the randomizer can pay out if you've got the guts to go for it.
And a couple of frustration slashes later, looks like we get no.
Nice.
Oof. You got a 2-for-1. Not an exchange I would want when I'm looking for something of use, such as a fire source, or the hammer, or the flippers, or a hook shot.
Yeah, that is everything that we need still. So that does beg the question, which of those could possibly be on the pedestal? I haven't seen chat being riled up about the pedestal yet, so maybe we can spark a little bit.
I think technically hookshot.
Yes, hookshot is only required for Swamp Palace and maybe Ice Palace. Well, Ice Palace is also crystal, so that
also
helps.
Technically flippers.
Which would be no, because flippers lock the fire rod, logically.
Oh, you're right. And you need a fire rod for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, other than that, a medal. No, we already have Quake for Maya. That does look like it's gonna be it.
So that means realistically, the only thing that we have that could be on there right now that we know of use would be the hookshot. Because it can't be hammer. It, by that extension, also can't be, as we know now, the flippers, either fire or ice rod, or the lamp.
That is true. Although the book might still be on the pedestal with one of those items on a tablet.
Oh, that would be the best worst paradox.
Red ring, by the way.
Oh, we got the red mail from. Yup. And now, shout outs to people who don't get headaches from looking at Link in red mail.
Yeah, wow. Wow,
oh, by the way,
Cape as well.
I was gonna say, we did neglect to mention that we forgot about Vanilla Cape.
I mean, other than the fact that it's vanilla, which is an amazing taste flavor.
True.
Much. As we did find out that the bumper cave, it just gave me what it actually was, but nothing of value. Now, as we will get to see your bonk rocks.
Ah, yes. And continuing on with the trend of items not immediately useful. Oh, looks like we're going to see a dip into Tower of Hera.
Yeah, speaking of useful, yeah, that is going to give another crystal to Falcon.
So long as they don't have to go into the basement, which, as we see, they don't. Technically, at this point, the rest of the dungeon is beatable. Oh, we got one of the two items that is in Tower of Hera.
That is true. Hayabusa did take another peek in the Lumberjack Cave to make sure that Aghanim is completely unrequired. And what that is going to...
at this point, it is seeming that way.
yeah, he is going to get his red armor upgrade for his battle suit. Is it called I don't even know. I don't play Mega Man.
It's okay. It's okay. It's an armor upgrade. We'll put it at that.
The Dongo's giving Falcon a little trouble, staying out of his reach of his sword.
Fortunately, only a little though. Falcon not opting to go for the bomb jump option, possibly not feeling too courageous, but does have, well, an extra heart container now.
But that is a special heart container. That was the Sanctuary heart container.
Oh, that was Sankheart? Oh, my mistake. That is a different story. Sankheart has saved my bacon on many occasions.
Yeah, and the reason why Sanctuary Heart is so important to all of us is that it is technically the first heart container available in the vanilla game. And you get it after beating the escape sequence. And it will, as such, refill your health meter.
Indeed, which is absolutely phenomenal if you've had a little bit of bad luck and you spaghettied all over the place and you're low on health and then Sankheart.
And everything
Trolldorm
again.
Trolldorm goes down, and we have the small key. Looks like we gotta see what the remaining item is in the basement. Oh wait, no, we don't.
Yeah, no.
We saw both items, so that is a dungeon item in the bottom, and this time I kept count. Shoutouts to that commenter in chat. Anyway.
Peace and love.
Oh, of course. It's just really fun to make. It's really fun to make pseudo conflict like that.
Yeah, gotta keep things interesting. Keep chat on their toes.
Of course. Meanwhile, Falcon going back into the dark world. Saying to continue on in the rest of the village of outcasts. Nope, going through.
Oh, he might be checking Bumper Cave, as he did find the cave, but he didn't actually check.
Ah.
Did he? I don't know, maybe.
No, that was Hayabusa. That checked.
Interesting.
Ooh, getting the RNG rock. Unfortunately, not a situation that does rock.
Wow, what a dead rock of a joke.
I mean, I never said all of my puns were great. Some of them were meant to make people groan, and that's why they're funny.
Punny, indeed. Anyway, moving on. Hayabusa scaling the tower, opting for the quote-unquote vanilla strat for getting the big chest, or the developer intended route, as Falcon does pick up his very important red rupee.
In the meantime, we're going to see if Hayabusa gets the same luck with Trolldorm. Is the Burger Snake going to give as much of a hard time? Nope. Just like that.
Minced Burger gets that smoky, and especially with the temper tool already, that most of the bosses are going to go by fairly quickly. As Falcon does opt to return to Thieves Town to clear it out, still does not have the hammer to check the big chest. But we'll just have to wait and see if it even contains an item at this point.
This is a rather interesting turn of events, because they really don't have that many more places they can check. Although they could have perhaps checked, a pendant dungeon. Or sorry, a crystal dungeon. But, as of version 26, it's a lot easier to say check Skullwoods and check pendant dungeons. Because as we knew, Skullwoods has very recently seemed, as we know, Skullwoods does have a larger possibility of of items that are of importance in favor, due to the fact that you can also easily access it from the Dark World without needing anything specific aside from Dark World access.
Whew. There you go. That is exactly correct, as well as Thieves Town does kind of have the same approach as you don't really need much of anything besides access to the village of outcasts. In fact, you might say that it requires even less than Skullwoods due to the fact that the hammer is not necessarily required.
Very true. In fact, all you really do need is Dark World access at that point because, well, there's nothing... Oh, actually, no, I take that back. You also need gloves because in the event that you got to Dark World through the means of... Well, no, you would need at least one glove anyways. Never mind. Just by having Dark World access, it does guarantee you are able to complete Thieves Town, whether you want to or not.
Yeah, given that you have a weapon that does damage the final boss, you are good to go. And for all we know, the Seed might expect you to do it with something like a Cadence Maria or a hammer. Thankfully,
We have...
did.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Thankfully, our runners did find, well, a couple of swords actually. So this is probably going to be another textbook fight.
Most likely, indeed.
Gardeners like to spring into action.
Ah, I love puns. Even the bad ones are good because you know they're bad.
Because they are supposed to be. Which makes them good. Which is counterproductive, intuitive.
Of course, everything's a paradox. You can find book on pedestal.
Or in Paradox Cave, which
that is true.
We have yet to see. But speaking of paradox, the green pendant is not a paradox, as we do find it falling from the ceiling. Yeah, I never really understood why it falls from the ceiling.
We're gonna assume it falls from some sort of kill switch like trap that holds it together.
Yes, magic.
Exactly.
How does anything work in this game? Magic. Just go. Go with it. Falcon finally going to cash in, or to receive his piece of heart. As Hayabusa also finishes off the blind fight, gets his piece of heart for it. Does get a nice refill. Does save a little bit of frames for the ending animation.
And now we just have to wonder what's going to be on Sahasrara, because we already know that's where Falcon's heading to right now. And I imagine Hayabusa is going to be doing that immediately as well, having already checked the level of... Oh, wait, no. Apparently Falcon decides to go otherwise, but Hayabusa goes to go with what I'm saying. Because Falcon had not checked some of these places while Hayabusa had completed... Or not completed, but opened them up. And we are getting a medallion check, and once again confirmed that it is indeed bacon, but Falcon decides to open it up in the process just in case he needs to go there instead.
Yeah, and there are more items.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
What a letdown.
Cowboy Curtis gives you a cold 20. Oof. I don't know why I called him Cowboy Curtis instead of Sahasrara. Just roll with it.
He goes by many different names.
Exactly. He once went by Sriracha. Like, let's be fair.
Saralanglu. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
It will become a stream where the race gets ignored for Sahasrara puns, or jokes. But nonetheless, looks like Hayabusa is also following in Falcon's footsteps, confirming that Sahasrara didn't really have anything of value.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of value, being almost an hour in, and we have yet to find the hammer, which is quite remarkable.
Yeah, that is surprising.
To be fair.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
and we get the Godmire.
Unfortunately.
Oh, that is such a tease.
Yeah, the reason that we call it a Godmire is all you need for this dungeon is the big key, and that is it. The rest you can all pick up via...
yeah, as we're seeing literally on Falcon's side. You could just go pick up one key, go ahead, and be able to complete the rest of the dungeon by going and killing Vitreous. Unfortunately, this is not Go mode, so we do not have true Godmire status going on.
Yeah, we unfortunately will have to spend a little bit more time. But with both of the runners in here, they both are still very close together. And between the two of them, flippers.
Oh, there they are.
They're water toes.
Nah, I see what you did there. So confirmed, Thieves Town was a ruse all along, and you needed to go to Godmire instead.
Wow.
Well, it's 1 of 2 items. Let's see if we can find item number 2, so that way we can see, we'll call it Demigodmire.
Yeah, we'll get to see if either of the runners are okay with Misery Mine Dark Rooms, as they are one of the more difficult ones in the game, to be fair.
And it looks like Cfalcon decided to not take the risk of seeing if Vitreous has the item. Oh, or not wanting to go through the dark room.
Yeah, that is true. Although that now with the flippers, that does open up besides the fire rod, which
that's true.
Cfalcon will be picking up.
Which at that point, that's a very easy. What is it? That's a very easy Skull Woods and a very easy Ice Palace.
Yeah, definitely. But with that also opens up Swamp Palace, I believe, which has the most amount of items at 6 unique items. So definitely a place of value.
And even though we all enjoy seeing it in Go mode, seeing it hold the items we're looking for is always fantastic. And might I add, it still adds the possibility of vanilla hookshot.
Yes, that's always exciting. The most solo location is its vanilla location.
It's such a rude location.
Yeah, truly so. Ooh, interesting.
Cfalcon saves and quits, immediately heads to the mountain, going to check Tower of Hera in the basement, I see. Nope. Deciding to full heart it up and then flute elsewhere. Never mind. Not a bad tactic, of course.
Yeah, the mountain cave, in terms of time before healing and standing outside, is the shortest out of all 3 of them.
That is very true, and it does save plenty of time and the music from the sanctuary.
It is pretty scary music. Talking of scary, Hayabusa taking the courageous decision to go for Dark Maya.
Yes!
He did make it past the first room, and they progressively become easier with every passing room, so I doubt that he's going to have any more trouble getting to the boss.
You are spot on with that, and on top of that, out of all of them, Misery Mire tends to be the hardest to really get a good grip on when you're learning dark rooms. So having that out of the way, we can already guarantee that the lamp is not necessarily a big deal outside of a light source, or in this case, a fire source.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem. Since we already know where one fire source is, we can now guarantee that Hayabusa doesn't even need to worry about the lamp, thus pretty much guaranteeing that is one less item on the list that we have to worry about.
Yeah, that is definitely a very nice addition.
Interesting divergence.
Yeah, opting not to use the arrow strats as Cfalcon does opt to remove all of the Gyptos from the premise. Ooh. Warmaster getting in the way, but what that Hayabusa does actually take care of Vitreous, gets the second red crystal actually. Oh, well, no, they still have to go for this palace, but that does open up the Cursed Fairy location.
That does indeed.
Oh, and I just noticed the bunny sprite for NES Link is the red Gorion from the same game. It's pretty cute.
It's very fitting.
Yeah, as well as the
interesting.
for the flipper animation.
Opting to not go into Desert Palace? Oh wait, no, that's right. He finished Desert Palace already. Never mind, my mistake. I looked down. Oh wait, no, that's Tower of Hera.
Wait, yeah.
He hasn't finished Desert Palace yet because he didn't have a fire rod. Right.
Fire rod
I'm
source.
apparently.
Fire rod.
Yep, that's right. That's Falcon. I am apparently randomizing each other's items in my head already. This is it's time to go to bed after this one. In the meantime, Falcon is going and taking the route to Mothula to go and check the one chest that he hadn't checked yet. In the meantime, it looks like we're going to see a catfish check.
Interesting. Catfish is a bit more out of the way, so runners will often try to combo it either with a Zora check whenever possible, or just like, you know, whenever it pops into their heads to actually check the location. But it could prove crucial to progress this seed, as we are slowly but surely coming to another dead end.
Oh.
No.
Although certainly that's not a bad bit of routing, considering that Hayabusa wanted to make sure to get both of them in one fell swoop. And Falcon is yet to check Catfish, so that might be something he has to go and revisit later.
Oh, a cross-dimensional high five from our runners.
Oh, never. Right. Oh, no.
I saw them both dashing upwards for an extended period of time. I thought they were both in my... Anyway.
No worries. That does mean, however, we are going to see Lanmola go down. And Fire Rod achieved. Looks like we're going to be seeing a dimensional high five coming up very shortly.
Yeah, Falcon unfortunately missed the key dash, which is, in my opinion, one of the most satisfying tricks in the game. It is the act of dashing at a small key door, or a big key door for that matter. And if you are an increment of 4 pixels away, you will just dash right through, otherwise you'll bonk off the door opening animation.
I've still yet to perfect that, but it is such a satisfying thing to see.
Yeah, thankfully a lot of the objects within the game, such as torches, pots, walls, they are set up in 4 pixel increments, which makes the setup fairly easy.
Oh.
But speaking of easy, Fire Rod in hand will be hopefully swiftly taking care of Lanmola's 2 fire rod shots per worm. He is going to take his time and carefully aim, as he does not have half magic yet, but does manage to finish it off with a 2 cycle. Very nice. For another heart.
And a very healthy run in this randomizer so far.
Yeah, 100% seed guaranteed. Every time.
And it looks like we're going to be seeing Hayabusa take care of these Gibdos before going and taking care of the wall torches. And Falcon is... Oh, that's right. Falcon is going and checking the rest of Misery Mire.
Oh yeah, he does have a fire source compared to when he first entered.
So he can now go to the 2 remaining chests, also known as the original or the vanilla compass room, and one of the most longest seeming cutscenes in the game. And I say longest seeming because apparently that cutscene along with the cutscene in Palace of Darkness are of the same time. I've yet to check that myself, but I'll take whoever's word for it that told me.
Yeah, that is true. It is one of the more interesting little tidbits due to the way that our psyche works in perceiving time. When we can't actually see progression, it feels a lot longer.
Oh, Falcon forgets to hit the switch. Fortunately, he has plenty of time before the door closes.
Ooh, does manage to sneak on through.
Oh, we got the swag net.
I mean, that's a
clearly
huge item to find.
Clearly a progression item, as we all know.
Yeah, now we can beat Aghanim. Get out this soon.
Specifically, Aga 1.
Yes, very specifically for the one purpose of swag.
Exactly.
Oh, as well as with the 2 bottles, that does allow us to catch a couple of fairies, which is always a nice consolation prize for finding the bug net.
Very true. And seems like, look, oh no, yep, Hayabusa is going to follow, taking care of Misery first? Or is he just... Yep, nope, Misery first.
Yeah, he also did not have a Fire Source first time round.
That is true.
To do the Dark Maya, as we do see Falcon, meanwhile on the other side, doing the same.
That is always good to see.
Yeah, commendations to both of these runners for their able display of playing A Link to the Past, as this game is not easy.
And for what it's worth, this specific setup in this part of the dark room is easily the most frustrating out of all of the dark rooms, and it's a little harder to set up than it seems. So when you actually have it set up, and granted it might take a couple of times if you're not used to it, it is such a relieving moment that, oh wow, Hayabusa also doing the same thing, missing the crystal switch, taking a frustration slash. Hopefully that doesn't take enough time for one of the lamps to go down.
Oh, gets clipped into the door, unfortunately.
I saw the timing of those slashes and I thought to myself, it's gonna happen. Fortunately, out of all the things that could happen, it's not the worst.
Yes, there is one location where if that happens, you're pretty much going right back to the start of the dungeon, and that is obviously the Cannon's Tower, which we'll get into once that arises. As we do see Falcon going to the victorious boss fight, as Hayabusa is going to finish off the Light World counterpart.
Quite literally an interdimensional high five at that point.
They'll both be feeling the compression of air from defeating a large enemy, as is a custom in video games.
Makes sense. Oh, Hayabusa, or sorry, Falcon at that point, deciding to tank the damage.
Yeah, with
one eye.
Yeah, with having 12 hearts, I will also do that. You have a lot of life to go, and you're getting a full refill anyway, so might as well use it. Absolutely
worth, because even if you do end up taking the damage of hitting an eye, which would result in 4 hearts going down, as we saw, you still have at least one more tap with an eye before you end up having to worry. And as you see, that wasn't really needed to be of concern. Meanwhile, Hayabusa going for a different method, using up all of his magic, and going to specifically go and show Lanmo while they were busy digging, he was studying the blade. And
yeah, a very powerful one at that.
You are correct.
Does manage to take care of Lanmo's, I believe that was 4 cycles.
I think so.
Ooh, an interesting question in chat. No, we still need the hammer.
Yep, the hammer is still required for part of the equation of go mode, because even if our renders could hover, we are still missing the ability to hammer pegs in Swamp Palace. As well as, depending, Ice Palace, if they have to go that far.
Well, they will definitely need the Hammer for Ice Palace as the one and only application. Well, no, that's not true. It does lock two item locations.
Yep.
But right before the boss, there is a lonely hammer peg, and
yep.
I've had more than once that I was in go mode, found the big early, and then just
shrugged it off. No, I know what you mean though. You found
all the items, go to kill stat, and then you're like, oh wait, I can't actually do this.
Yep. It is not a fun realization. And Falcon confirming to get catfished by Catfish.
Ooh, very unfortunate circumstance.
And now Hayabusa is checking the pyramid, which we had not seen checked yet. Chances are it's just chances are it's an item of not that much significance, but you never know. We could see the hookshot. Are you kidding me? It's the hammer.
My goodness, Hayabusa is going to feel really behind now. But little does he know that Falcon neither has been to the pyramid. And oh my god, both of them might be. What is this scene?
Well, I got the H right when I took a guess.
This insanity.
This is ridiculous.
Oh my
but at the same time, that is a huge... Oh, and Falcon actually not too far behind.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, both of them are going to believe that they are behind you to missing such an easy-to-access location.
And to be fair, I mean, I would too, because that is usually something not too quickly overlooked. Lo and behold, oops. And Falcon not going for the Pyramid Fairy, but instead saying, I need to go to Death Mountain, which is not a bad call because nothing says that the hookshot can't be behind eastern side of Death Mountain.
Yeah, in fact, it could even be in Hookshot Cave, which is quite ironic.
Yeah,
although only the first chest.
Wouldn't that be fitting, though?
That'd be amazing.
Just a blue item in Ice Rod Cave, but Hookshot actually shows up in Hookshot Cave in the one chest you can bonk.
Ooh, Pyramid Fairy coming up with a big 21 rupees. That's
little obscure reference.
Exciting.
Little obscure reference. Same eye color of character in Rose and Maiden. Green and red rupees showing up in that order. Heterochromia is an interesting thing. That was a funnier nerd comment in my head that I was going to actually go on. Never mind. Anyway.
It's fine. We all make silly comments. Actually, we are going to get the Spiral Cave check first. With the boots very, very quick. No Resonant Sleeper Cave. Besides Hype Cave.
I mean, yeah, that is truly, truly Resonant Sleeper Cave. Without the boot, Spiral Cave is much equivalent to the Titanic watching the band as the ship goes down. It's just sad to see it happen, but you know what's happening. Meanwhile, we're getting into Ice Palace.
Ooh, an exciting development. Now, without the hook shot, that may pose an interesting part of logic, as depending on the key layout, the game will require you to have the hook shot, although it can be circumvented with a bomb jump. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what the logic for Ice Palace is to see.
That is going to be very interesting to see. Speaking of interesting to see, something that you don't normally see very often when you're going to Death Mountain is the ability to go into the Dark World, set up a mirror point, go and check a Light World, then immediately use the mirror point to check Dark World and continue on your routing. It's very fun to see that because it's such a very streamlined method in comparison to, oh, hey, there's the Ice Rod.
Ooh, that's required.
And the power,
golden sword.
The power of Paladin. We have the Butter Sword.
Can't believe it's not gold.
I mean, I can. It's Nintendo. They probably just spray painted it, just like the cartridge.
That's rude. Did they ever make a Super Nintendo Golden cartridge, or is that just?
I don't know, actually.
Because that would be pretty cool.
I can almost guarantee someone in chat might know that. Feel free to let us know. Also, if you're not seeing this live, shoutouts to our YouTube audience and or our VOD audience. Our VODience? Is that a word?
Well, it is now.
Ah, there we go.
All we need to do is find the book and set it in print. Which, for all we know, could still be on the pedestal, by the way. Paradox.
What? Oh, that's true.
Yeah, because pretty much
I
the
would
only
love to
item
see the
that we are,
paradox.
yeah, the only thing that we're looking for is that hook shot.
The championship cartridges were gold confirmed.
Ooh, interesting.
Guess you can. Oh, I just noticed that there was an item. Oh, it was a shield.
That Everest, yeah, I thought I missed that as well. Oh,
I saw the
red
tracker go off. Oh, wait.
shield. No, hook shot.
And oh,
It's not even red.
we were excited for blue, and now we're excited for red. I mean, color coordination, that would be important.
Yes. Speaking of coordination,
And
bacon
things that are
also required for
oh wow,
for Turtle Rock. Gonna get a coordinated spell casting dance on the turtle. I'm gonna stop.
it's all good. Now I'm not the only one that spaghettied words out of their mouth. Speaking of things that are coordinated and important, we'd like to give a shout out to ALTTP Randomizer, both unnumbered and through, I believe it's 6. There's at least 4.
I believe it goes to 4. The speed gaming channels do have 6 iterations.
That's right.
Speed
That's
gaming
the
1 to
numbers.
6. As well as
We'd
I
also
should
like
mention-
to thank also in the process not only everyone that put this race together, but also our tracker, who is named Yoinker's wife. Very fantastic. Making sure to keep track, because God knows things would have been a mess if we had to keep track earlier on. So shout outs to our tracker. Also, shout outs to our restreamer, who I believe is Who42 Baker.
That is correct. Without any of these wonderful people, this simply would not have happened. Speaking of things that are happening, Falcon remembering that he doesn't have the fire rod.
Falcon does have the fire rod.
The hook rod shot.
Oh, hook shot. Got it. Hook rod shot. Nailed it.
Yes. We'll be able to get 2 more items.
Under the same vein, ready, spoiler alert, fire rod on Trinex. What?
Whoa. Wait, how? How so?
Exactly the joke.
Just, like, put the lamp in front of the ice rod, then channel the
yeah, the ice rod.
Magic.
The ice rod actually just spawns the fire rod from the firehead.
Yes, you just
Please, nobody believe that. Please, nobody believe that. That is actually a joke. Holy, for the love of everything, don't believe everything you hear on the internet.
Don't go to Trinex without the fire rod.
Do not do that. That is a bad time, confirmed.
Just as a quick disclaimer, of course.
Of course.
I mean, we're not going to stop you. But
but the game might, because you kind of need it to be able to get through one room that requires the fire rod.
Hayabusa making smart use of his powder, as well as his cane block. We'll be able to circumvent having to push the block down, as he will be entering into the cold step fight. As Falcon is going to check out the vanilla big key chest. Oop.
And down the hole we go.
Yeah, thankfully, Hayabusa does have a full magic meter, as it does take a full magic meter of the normal magic to break the ice shell.
Yep.
Of course, potions are still available. Does get them nice and tight in the corner. They do escape after a while, though.
Does get them nice and organized to be able to give them the quick slap chop.
Oh, and with that, Killstare is down.
And you get a small key for your troubles. And for those playing the home game, yes, technically a hookshot on pedestal is still a possibility. How much of a possibility? No, but it's still a possibility.
Although I do believe Hayabusa did use a bomb jump, although I'm not sure if that could have been circumvented. But I'm not too.
I mean, to be fair,
my routing.
To be fair, if you have the opportunity to bomb jump Ice Palace, you usually do it anyways.
Yeah, but
and we're seeing a mimic cave check.
Oh yeah, that is also part of Turtle Rock, which does put it up at 6 items. Although certain people don't.
Oh, and there's the ramp. You had to go to Turtle Rock.
What?
Wait.
So the game now, we logically can complete Eastern Palace.
Let me get this straight. You had to get the flippers
from Meyer.
Eastern Palace from Meyer to get the fire rod from Zora. The seat is stupid.
This
is just.
Can we get a new one? No?
Can we return it? This one's annoying.
Oh.
That's just.
Imagine walking into a store. Sorry, I don't want this video game. Oh, and why? Is it broken? No. It's annoying. Can you imagine that? Oh my god, like, hello?
Yeah. Just.
Oh.
Is Think Dorm an emote on these channels? If so, feel free to just throw that out there if you'd like.
Oh.
Because I'm still wrapping my head around this. Why?
Like, I mean, I have seen Lamp in that location a couple of times, but like, that's just like a very specific set of things needs to happen for that, which I don't understand. Like, you need so many items to get to that location.
No, look, Quake, we got Quake. How fortunate we finally. Oh, it's
hook shot!
What is this scene?
Stop, dude. Oh my. Required pendant Turtle Rock.
Double.
Oh.
No, you don't have to double. Why is he leaving? He doesn't have to double dip Turtle Rock. Oh, it's a pendant. Never mind. Required Turtle Rock pendant dive down to the last chest of the laser bridge for progression.
Oh.
You always think to yourself when you see Turtle Rock pendant, oh no. But in this case, the oh no is like the Kool-Aid Man coming out, giving you both birds from each hand going, you've done messed up now. Like, this is definitely the definition of oh no. And as chat's understanding, yes, that does mean Falcon is officially in go mode. And that does mean Falcon is capable of go moding Swamp and Ice Palace.
Ooh, that is going to give him a significant time advantage. Although Hayabusa might not be too far behind. Although
Hayabusa still needs to go into Turtle Rock. So this might be a thing.
Yeah, this is definitely at this point Falcon's race to lose, but nothing weirder things
nothing we haven't seen in the past. Yeah. So as someone in chat just confirmed, flippers to Fire Rod, Hammer to Turtle Rock Lamp, Hookshot to finish Meyer, Swamp, and Ganon's Tower.
is a
all of that,
disgusting sequence.
all of that is after boots are locked or in the big chest in desert. Ooh.
I mean, okay, that happened.
This seed sure is making them work for it.
Yeah, and I mean, considering that entire sequence, we are only now approaching the 1 hour 30 mark, so both of the runners are making great headway through the seed.
Yeah, all things considered, they have a really solid time so far.
Oh.
Oh, and of course, getting the desert required the method of flute, mirror, and gold gloves. Now, granted, 2 of the 3 of those were super early on.
Yes. Like, you know, it couldn't even be earlier. Well, technically it can in starting equipment, which is a feature of the customizer.
That's
You
true.
can actually set your starting equipment.
7 pairs of boots.
Yes, you just instantly clip out of bounds into cannon. Knowing this game and how it works, then
Yeah, knowing this game at this point, suddenly 7 boots turns no major glitches into every glitch possible.
Your SNES will just come alive and
it just comes alive, looks at you, and asks what choices you've made in your life to finally come down to this terrible decision.
Oh my. Oh. Well, with that, Falcon is entering the Argus fight. Going to put the R in Argus. Yeah.
Or you can even argue the ARG in the seed. Because, aside from a very, very lucky dive into Turtle Rock, this is very frustrating.
Yeah,
I can imagine, I can imagine other runners just noping right out of this.
Oh, and with that, 2 swings gets the singular arrow. Now we are truly in go. Oh, Busa got knocked back onto the platform.
That skeleton said, "Sit back down."
This is my platform. And still lives to tell the tale. Oof. That's rough.
Hayabusa getting the key, being able to start heading down, making his way downtown, walking fast, faces past as he just wants to stop getting hit by those chain chomps. But no. Thank you. Meanwhile, Falcon's going to quickly go through Ice Palace. I also forgot to do this joke earlier on because I was fascinated by how ridiculous the seed is. But both of our runners had to go down to Turtle Rock. Down to Turtle Rock.
Stop.
Nope, not stopping. This train has no brakes.
Oh my, definitely a train wreck. This seed has been, we've been all over the place.
You're really right. This has been quite a train wreck of a seed.
Oh my.
Or as I also like to call these kinds of seeds, a clown fiesta.
Oh my, that is a perfect description. I don't even
the
know
mental
what
image
that's
of that concept alone just works. Also, it's just funny to say.
I suppose, yeah. The little intricacies of linguistics. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, getting off track with linguistic properties. Falcon coming up on the Ice Balance bomb jump, as Hayabusa will be picking up his lamp shortly.
Man, what a... See, Falcon, don't you mean Hayabusa? Hayabusa will be going into Mimic Cave to pick up the.
Oh.
You said Falcon. It's okay. It's early for you. It's late for me.
But I can save this. To my defense, Hayabusa means Falcon in Japanese, which
that is true.
Hayabusa has told me before the race started, which is interesting.
So this is a bird versus bird. So you could say this whole seed has gone to the birds.
I mean, as I said, the pheasant is present.
Did I not mention this train has no brakes? This train has no brakes.
We are going. Next stop, Crazy Town.
And down the hole we go.
Yeah, Falcon having the ability to go mode Ice Palace gets through very quickly. Hayabusa, meanwhile, making his way, making use of the boomerang.
And successfully getting all shots out to be able to... Oh, doesn't entirely put... Oh, never mind.
Well,
I don't even get to finish messing up that statement before Cold Stare goes down.
Yeah, I hope you didn't blink because...
Well, Cold Stare sure didn't.
You sure have an eye for puns, don't you?
You are correct.
Oh.
I have a real talent for them.
Oh, and we love you for it. Meanwhile, Hayabusa are going to take the same sequence of chest pick up, opening, picking. We'll be getting his ether as well as the hook shot in the last one.
Oh,
Little does he know, he's so close. Oh. Come on!
No! No, not like this. Come on, you got this.
Please
We're
don't
rooting
fail.
for you. Oh, by the way, we're now about to be playing the community's favorite game. There are 22 item locations in Ganon's Tower that we may be opening before finding the big key and ascending the rest of Ganon's Tower. Feel free on your end to guess a number between 1 and 22 to suggest how many chest and or item locations are going to be opened before finding them. Since we're playing on the honor system here, feel free to also, if you'd like, mention a location if you're feeling extra sassy. Me, as someone who's feeling always sassy, I'm going to go top right chest on the right side room. Compass room, thank you.
Yeah,
Top
that's
right
what I
chest,
usually
compass
do.
room.
Oh my god, I can see a tire room already.
Yeah, oh, of course.
Yeah, customary to the randomizer, I like to generate a random one.
Ah, very nice.
So I will take a random number between 1 and 22.
That would be 9.
Number 9 it is. Mighty number 9.
Here we are. Anyway.
Ooh, speaking of train wrecks,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Palace. Falcon into Ganon's Tower. Oh.
That was some multiple levels of pizza explosion.
Whew. Now, breezing past that station, number 1 and 2 coming up, and that stop.
No. So far, not a whole lot. Oh, and we are seeing a right side gamble. We're gonna find out if I was right.
Yeah, your key is in another chest. So either way, Hayabusa with hookshot is going to clear up the swamp palace. Will they be able to do it in go mode as well?
Go moding swamp is going to be such a nice feeling after this clown fiesta of a seed.
Just managed to get through. We'll be coming up to locations.
Oh, we're going to be seeing... Oh, not my favorite trick. My favorite trick using the Cane of Samaria is to also dash at the same time, so you're basically kicking it. So I usually like to yell "Olay."
Oh! There it is, number 3.
It was the bottom right, not the top right. My psychic abilities have worn off.
Yes.
I should have known because I guessed the letter H in an item on the pyramid. But it was the wrong H item.
Although both equally required.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So if you guessed 3, congratulations, you've won. Feel free to tell them what they've won today.
You will win a limited edition copy of a 24-karat gold cartridge from the World Championship. Wait, what was it again? Let me... so,
Nailed it.
Like, yeah, something in that flavor. And it may or may not be a PNG file.
Oh, fair enough. I was going to say... And by that, we don't mean we're actually sending anything physical to you because, yeah, not happening. We're all volunteers and doing this in the community, and we're broke. Anyway. Seeing a very smooth dash, not getting hit by the spikes in the Igor room.
Yeah, I have yet to get that trick even once. That is deceptively... difficult for me, at least. I don't know if there is like a setup for
the right side's easier.
Players.
The right side's easier.
I will use that. Usually I just hit the switch like 10 times. Which is why I'm commentating and not playing, everyone. Because boy, my quickest seat 3 hour 15. 3 minutes,
gotcha.
Imagine.
I've gotten under sub too, but I crack under pressure too often. Nonetheless, we're going to see Argus go down very quickly, and we are seeing Falcon go through this tower like a golden sword through butter.
Yeah, definitely a very hot display of that knife blade sword thing.
It's okay.
Speaking of the sword blade thing, Argus goes down. Hayabusa gets rewarded with his arrow. And he also will be going up the tower. Be interesting to see whether or not he goes for the right side, as there is a small key. So runners more often than not will decide to go to the right side, but there is still chance to maybe find the silver arrows in Ganon's tower, as we have yet to find those actually.
Yeah, that is rather interesting. I wonder if we're going to be seeing it in the Pulse Troll Dorm chest. There needs to be a better meme name for that. We'll figure it out one day.
There are enough memes to go around for now.
That is true. I'm going to call it Jerry. We're going to see what Jerry has for us.
That's a wonderful name. Although, speaking of nice things, this room sure is not. For there is a possibility that you might screw up your entire game, or well, this.
Well, your entire progress, rather.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Linguistics words. There,
it's okay.
If you transition the screen by either going through that door or going up the ladder, as the torches go out, you will despawn all of the sprites, including Aghanim 2, which is very much required. Thus,
wait, really?
Yep.
I never knew that. That is insane.
A common theme with this game is it can't do 2 things at once. So if you're transitioning and it has to, like, you know, calculate torches going out and stuff like that, the game's like, nope, and just throws out every single enemy of the tower. Which might sound amazing because none of these spikes spawn, none of the enemies. Mulderum is gone, so you do need to hover in that case. But yeah, if you get that could have brought this race a lot closer.
And not to completely side note the conversation, we ended up seeing a little bit of worth, not really much of any worth, in Jerry's distant cousin before Trolldorm 2, and Jerry has a red 20 for us today.
How amusing.
Jerry's a stingy little jerk.
Although that has to be one of the last copies available at this point.
Oh yeah, easily.
Limited edition. Get it while you can. Oh, Hayabusa thankfully choosing the right side as well. It'll be interesting to see if it is going to be number 3 or any other number through 6. As Falcon is in the second angle in flight. Does unfortunately split off the
getting some interesting patterns.
Yeah, it still takes a total of 6 hits to get rid of the second Aghanim, although still the 50-50 chance of receiving a non-deflectable blue ball.
Ooh, nice.
But as Hayabusa gets the big key, Falcon will be entering the Ganon fight shortly.
And down the image of Aghanim goes. And now it's time for us to stick it to the big pig.
Hayabusa, meanwhile, heading up the gauntlet. We'll be having a similarly easy time with having both Red Mill Fire Rod as well as the Golden Sword.
Yep. As we know, it usually takes 6 hits unless you perhaps time it during times where the attacks do not count in between phases.
Ooh. Falcon has to be careful, down to 3 hearts only. Even with Red Mail, this fight does hurt a lot.
It does.
Oh, I hate this when you get
those fire bats
in the ground plan animation.
That is never fun.
Almost got hit on that backswing.
Yep.
But with that, Falcon will be heading into the last phase shortly. We'll get to know where these silver arrows were in Swamp Palace.
Really?
Probably left side then. Ooh, Falcon misses the torch glitch.
Oh, wow.
Which in and of itself is not that big a deal if he can consistently get these spins in. Ooh, careful there.
Yep,
but
we're gonna see. If I'm correct, he still has a blue potion left. So that would make it a lot easier. However, as we've seen, I could be wrong.
On multiple occasions, yeah.
Oh, you know, just maybe once or twice. Cough.
Yeah. Hayabusa into the second Mulder or Lamola's. Wow. I'm gonna stop.
Lanmola 2, linguistic boogaloo.
No. Oh man, this train really is going nowhere.
You know it.
Speaking of trains, Falcon on a roll.
I was gonna say, if anything, I've seen, what is that, the 5th or the 6th hit out of 12 that you need for Ganon?
I mean, as I've demonstrated, I am unable to count, so I'm not gonna throw any...
I'm banking on me being wrong anyways, it's okay.
A number greater than 3. There we go.
A number greater than 1.
Ooh, it's getting pretty close.
Ooh.
Suspension.
There he goes. He ends up falling to make sure he can get... Oh. Sorry, I'm also trying to keep paying attention again. But Hayabusa ends up pulling off the torches in time with a couple more seconds in the window to spare. Meanwhile, Falcon having to be really careful with the magic usage in the event that he doesn't have a potion left, which at this point, he still has a couple of uses left before he has to worry. Oh, no! But he falls!
Oh no, that might be the great equalizer.
Oh, that is the great equalizer, especially if he doesn't have a potion to fill his magic with.
That is very unfortunate. Oh no.
Suddenly, that distance, that gap, that widened. Oh no, he has to go. Oh, don't pull me in one of my last matches and having to go somewhere to get the things. Oh no, that might be the great equalizer that turns this entire race around. He's debating on it, but he realizes he still needs to make sure he has potions to refill his magic.
One thing that I hope that he does not think of is getting the silver arrows, because that would truly seal the deal.
Oh, and he had a blue potion anyway.
Oh, what?
He could have. Oh, there's the dashes, the panics. The plot twist is he could have went up there, but he went for the safeties anyways. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, Hayabusa is inching ever closer. If Hayabusa gets a godlike Aghanim 2, this could come down right to the wire. Oh.
I mean, from what I understand, they get the same positions the first time around. And he's faring the exact same as he did, or as Cfalcon did. Both of them started off with like 1 or 0, 1, 1. I think this one, this one was the 2, and now we're likely going to see a repeat of a 2 here. No, misses. Oh, he's not going to miss this.
No, that's just...
And down he goes. And now we are in a very close Ganon fight. Round 2. Hayabusa showing that he too has the humor of a 13-year-old, just like myself.
Yes. I was going to mention, of course, this is a family-friendly stream. Disclaimer. Yeah, wow, this could come down to the difference between like a 1 and a 2 cycle for any of the phases.
And as we now know, also, Cfalcon has to deal with the possibility of a longer RNG.
Yeah, I was about to mention that, because this is the first time he... the second time that he is fighting Ganon. The set pattern is gone.
And just like that, the first 2 cycles have already gone through for Hayabusa.
Yeah, he's definitely catching up. Wow, this... Wow.
And Cfalcon, again, doesn't get the torch glitch.
Oh, very unfortunate. That does...
Very.
Oh, no way, he did.
Wait, he did? Is his screen mirrored? No, it can't be.
Mirrored? Yeah.
I thought the torch glitch was specifically on the left side, not the right side.
It is on the left side, or on the right. You relight the left torch, because that one goes out first, and if you light it before the right one goes out, the right one never goes out because the trigger is deleted.
Oh my goodness, that's how you know I'm tired. My brain switched left and right. All right. That's
at least it's not a Twilight Princess deal where the entire game is mirrored.
That is true. And Cfalcon still squeezes on by.
Get your GGs ready in...
Yeah, get those chat. GGs going in chat. It is happening. And confirmed, Cfalcon finishes
off
at roughly 149 even, question mark?
Yeah, 149.03.
I don't have the official Speed Racing TV time, but I'm going to assume it was around 149.
Yeah, 149.03 for Cfalcon, and meanwhile Hayabusa 149.24. Oh my bananas.
GG to both of them. My goodness. And then the seed has the gall, the intestinal fortitude to say, we did it. Yeah, you sure did.
Yeah.
You sure
Thanks for your
did.
help, seed. Oh.
You sure carried us to victory, didn't you? Oof, that seed was... That was... That
Wow.
a clown fiesta.
Definitely 11 seconds separating the both of these runners. Which, again, shout-outs to both of these runners, putting on such an amazing display.
Absolutely.
What a ride.
And now it just comes down to a question if either of them want to join us for a post-race interview. Do you have a contact with them? Or should we just hit them up in Discord?
I reached out to them on the Speed Racing
Excellent.
Dex channel. So I hope that they're paying attention to that.
Let's hope.
Because, wow, I would love to hear these runners' thoughts on the whole sequence of that lamp. Like,
oh yeah, that was. Whew. That was.
Oh, all right. It does look like we have confirmation for Falcon to come in for an interview. Have to wait.
That was quite the adventure, to say the least. While we're waiting for him, I'd like to remind you all that this has all been possible by viewers like you, as well as the entire community of the Legend of Zelda Link to the Past Randomizer community.
Yeah,
redundancy aside, we'd like to make sure to give a lot of thank you to all of you, as well as a shout out to everyone who made this possible. That also includes not only our awesome runners who have busted their butts to make sure to give you an excellent race, but as well as our tracker Yoinker's wife, our restreamer Who42 Baker, Glenty and Stan. They're pretty good if you like their shenanigans.
I mean, I would definitely board on your train. Because it went everywhere. And with that, it does look like both the runners are in the waiting room. I will be dragging them over shortly. Good morning, both of you. Congratulations to Falcon on your victory, and as well for Hayabusa for making it so close.
Yes, congrats on your victory, and congrats on surviving.
Oh my god. Surviving might be the word to describe what happened to me at the end there. And seeing how close that was, I about damn near gave that one away. Oh my god.
You have no idea. Well, actually, you do. You probably saw the time. Yes, we're insanely close.
Whew. Wow.
11 seconds between the both of you.
That was a nail-biting end.
Yeah, you surely give us a heart attack with that one.
I about gave myself a heart attack. Oh my.
There is. Okay. Restream is back. We're good.
Now, one interesting thing, talking about heart attacks, how about that lamp sequence? Because, oh my goodness.
Yes. How do you both feel about that entire sequence of items?
Well, for me, it was pretty interesting to see this kind of seed. Hammer was so late on. Personally, I don't really care about the lamp. I've been trading dark rooms before this tournament, so no problem about that. But finding the lamp in Turtle Rock, I was like, okay, so sequence is back, and let's go for it. And hookshot was there, which was go mode, and I was like, yeah, Turtle Rock, pendant, even more required than a crystal, like my philosophy says.
Yeah. Seriously, can we like delete Laser Bridge from the game, please? Every time. You know, and the worst part about it is I wasn't even going to go into Turtle Rock when I went on Death Mountain, and then I suspiciously found the ice rod in, I think it was Paradox Cave, and I'm like, nope, that's a sign, let's go. Let's do this. If I got the medallion, I'm going in, and if I lose because of this gamble's wrong, oh well.
Well, my thoughts exactly. I wasn't planning to dip TR at all, but then the ice rod was like, here you are, let's go for it. And it was Quake, and so we went for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Go figure. You both ended up dipping into Thieves Town because it looked like it was going to give an item, and then it just returned nothing. Meanwhile, Turtle Rock's just sitting there secretly in the background doing the evil hand steeple, just waiting for you to realize that you need to go in there for the hook shot.
Yeah. And
it's like such an evil.
And since you guys mentioned it, yeah, that lamp, that's about the third seed of the last 6 I've had lamp in Turtle Rock, so I'm glad I've been kind of working on the dark rooms. My dark room, I still need to get a little bit better at getting that cane block on the switch, but I got through.
Yeah, you both
of
did
you
pretty
did
well.
An excellent job. Sorry.
No, by all means.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a very great display of both of you within this game. Like,
And
wow.
and congratulations on not deciding to do this, you know, without breaking logic, because we probably would have been here for a while.
Yeah, no. Thank you,
like,
sequence breaking, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, about sequence breaking, hookshot as go mode item. I actually knew ice was hookshot locked, but I decided not to bomb jump. I don't know why, and that really cost me. Like, I already knew I didn't get the small key, and I was like, oh damn, I should have bomb jumped. And then, like, that would have saved me like some seconds, minutes even.
Ah.
I mean, you know, I had some really dumb, rough things. Like I guess because I hadn't really gotten a chance in my first 5 races of sequence break, I'm like, all right, fine, let's do this. And fake flipper, and came up with the early bow, and then I saw the fire rod sitting on the ledge. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me! I don't know how to water walk. Which, I mean, by the way, the boots location was hilarious too. Oh, desert's boots locked. Oh, here you go, have some boots.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't have a fire source. I can't finish it anyway. Now what?
Yeah, literally. We were actually, not to cut you off, but we were actually sitting there going, what? It's boots locked. Oh no. Well, we can get into this one chest. What? The boots? And on top of that,
I burst out
boots
laughing.
locked desert, which then led to flippers, which led to fire rod, which led to turtle rock lamp, and hammer. No, and hookshot. And then hammer was, oh geez, where was hammer again?
It was on the pyramid.
Thank you.
Both
The
of
pyramid.
you put that off for way longer than you should have. What's the thought process behind just leaving that location?
I mean, sorry, Clutch, go ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry. Well, for me, I knew Fireword was sitting on the Zora ledge, and I was like, okay, now I have flippers, so I can access Catfish. So let's route it in together. And it crossed my mind for a second to like hop down and visit the pyramid. I was like, nah, let's just go for these 2 locations first. And after that, I was like, okay, let's go for pod. And then, yeah, I saw the hammer on pyramid, and the whole pod ID was gone.
Yeah, I put it off just because the same thing. I mean, I couldn't even get over there in the first place without flippers, and then I was honestly starting to wonder if it was an Agassiz and the lamp was going to show up in a really stupid place any second. But boy, was I wrong on how stupid that was.
Fortunately, you didn't have to even go through that. Although, at that point, if you still had to go through Agnum, I would have been, whew.
We would have lost it.
There have been people who have had lesser patience that would have forfeit very quickly at that moment, if that were the case. Yeah. But nonetheless, that was rather impressive. We saw you going through Falcon at the end in Ganon, and then having you fall when you were, I think it was like 2 or 3 hits away from defeating him. And that entire gap closing was such an intense, if you will, end to the race. Good job to both of you. That was quite something to behold.
Yeah, the Ganon fight real quick. I probably the first time when I was trying to get the torch glitch, I shouldn't have been standing right next to the torch when Ganon fired his bat, because I moved out of the way to dodge it, and then when I moved back, both torches were out. I'm like, oh crap. Well, maybe I'll try running back forth, lighting him with the lamp, and then I was a couple hits away, and for some reason I didn't even anticipate Ganon firing the bat that way, and it just knocked me right off the side. And at that point, oh man, I almost had a heart attack.
Yeah, that's always one of those moments, and it always stings, because no matter what happens, it always hurts to fall to Ganon, because there's always a way to realize for some reason you could have done something better. And it happens, like, it's happened to me on multiple occasions myself. But like it's every time it happens, you go, oh, but this, and then someone comes along going, by the way, if you didn't know, you could do this, and suddenly you just go, oh no.
Yeah. For sure. Oh, God,
Still
goodness.
though, congrats on getting the fire glitch on the second time around. That was definitely key.
Yeah, and the fight went way better the second time.
Yeah, go figure. Like
Yeah.
you had better RNG the second time around than you had the first time. Like, hello?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely a rough one. On the opposite, and Hayabusa did have a very solid Ganon fight. Did get the torch glitch on the first try. Nothing really to mention on that front. But
yeah, absolutely. And that was a solid climb going up through the gauntlet as well in Ganon's tower. So being able to do all of that really did make for a very exciting potential complete plot twist, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. But with that, we have reached the final station of this amazing train ride.
You know it.
And with that, unless my co-commentator or either of these runners have something to add on a last note.
If the runners have any final thoughts first, I'd be glad to let them have them first.
Well, first I wanted to say thank you, Glenn and Stan, for commentating this match, and Baker for restreaming. I mean, I know being in a match at, well, for my time right now it's 6 a.m., so I'm going to sleep after this. But yeah, if to have people dedicated to come out and work on a match like that at a time like this, I appreciate it very much. And Kless, GG to you, sir. I know we talked about the winner of this match. The next week had a shot to make the bracket. I owe it to you now, man. I got to get it done for you.
Yeah, GG again, Cfalcon, and thank you, Plantai and Stan, for commentating, and of course, for Baker for restreaming this race, as well as our tracker. And yeah, we made a pact, Cfalcon, so you got to make a promise, and please go for the brackets for me next week. Well, I'm glad my tournament here ends with a bang. Like, yeah, what was it, 20 seconds difference. I'm really glad that it ended this way. So I'm 3-3, and my next week, or I think in 2 weeks, I'll try my best to get into 4-3. And well, since it's my first tournament ever, I expected to just get 1 win or 2 wins. So I'm really glad with this result, and glad that I could face an opponent like yourself, Cfalcon. And well, thanks again, and see you next time.
Yep.
And again, congrats to both of you. Good luck, Falcon, and see you later, Hayabusa. Congrats to you both on having an awesome race, and hopefully we'll see a lot of awesome things coming for both of you in the future. Make sure you go and give them a follow as well if you're in chat. Make sure to show them some love, because like I said earlier, they were busting their butts to make sure you had a great race. Speaking of people busting their butts, shoutouts to this entire community. And once again, if you haven't been following A Link to the Past Randomizer, feel free to go and check out our channels, ALTTP Randomizer, unnumbered 2, 3, and 4. And you can also check us out on Speed Gaming 1 through 6 for more shenanigans. Speaking of which, the next one that we have scheduled looks like it's going to be happening at 11 a.m. EDT, so that's 11 or also 4 if you're over in England, on Speed Gaming itself, and that's going to be Dat Losset versus Samurai Man. Speaking of people to say thanks to, shoutouts to Hoot42 Baker for the restream, as well as Yoinker's wife for the tracking. Make sure to show some love to Stan. And hey, Glentai's alright if you want to give him a follow too. That's okay. I'm sure he wouldn't mind either. But nonetheless,
yeah,
no, go ahead. You can say that again.
Yeah, and with that, be sure to follow both of these runners, ClessHayabusa and Cfalcon. Both of these runners, excellent runners. Only one of them did make it to the bracket stage. But with that, that is going to do it for today. Be sure to give everyone a follow as mentioned previously. But with that, that is going to number it for me, and I'll see you in the next seed.